2022 has got going with some disruption. Among the millions said to be isolating were transport staff, leading to cancellations, refuge collectors with bins in parts of the country overflowing, bar staff causing some pubs to close their doors, and supermarket workers, with Iceland reporting an exponential rise in staff sickness.
It's now about 11% of our workforce. We're up 700 COVID absentees since this time last week. And now we've got over 1,700 of our staff off with COVID.
For this managing director, the answer is not just more testing, it is less isolation time.
The current rules of 7 days should be cut, ideally to 5 days. However, there is even a school of thought that says if this Omicron variant, as long as you're triple jabbed, maybe people should just use their common sense. And if you're ill, stay at home. But if you're not, then be allowed to go back to work.
The vast majority of supermarket and rail staff will not be covered by the government's new priority testing scheme, leading to a similar plea from a transport watchdog.
Yesterday we saw 1 in 20 trains were cancelled. Unless we see a change to the isolation rules, it's inevitable that the number of staff isolating is probably going to rise. So we could be in for a bumpy few weeks.
The Health Secretary, guess where? In a vaccination centre, said the isolation time had already been cut, and despite the calls from business and some Tory MPs, insisted he would not follow the US and France and reduce it further to 5 days.
Our decisions are based on the very latest evidence, and we're quite clear that where we are with 7 days, but you need those 2 negative lateral flow tests in the final 2 days. It's the right balanced proportion approach.
The Labour leader said he would follow the science on isolation rules, but said a bigger problem was a lack of available tests for most people.
It is simply unacceptable 2 years, best part of 2 years into a pandemic, for the government to say we haven't got enough tests. Lateral flow tests ought to be available in sufficient quantity to deal with the situation we now find ourselves in.
But some industries think they need more than mass testing. Anushka Rastana, ITV News.